Can anyone explain to me why I set aside time to get back to this world to play this game to, like, enjoy myself and like be happy and that sort of thing? Then I get sick every single time without fail. Like, I swear to God, this whole series is becoming Nyx is sick, so she's gonna record a new episode of Minecraft. Like, it's so fucking ridiculous. And the best part about this week is the time that I set aside to in order to like actually get back into Minecraft and like do this sort of thing. I've been working on a ton of other projects in the background. You've probably, if you watch my channel, you've seen some of the videos that I've been uploading around this time. With like the Sora AI video and the Project S video. Right? And like, so I've been like a little busy, but I've made sure to like schedule out my time for this week because I have it off because of my job and everything. Like, so like using this week as much as I possibly can to its fullest extent, and I've been resting too, don't get me wrong. But like, why for the one day that I like choose to leave my home for to get something printed for something else entirely. Like, I leave my home one day out of this entire week that I've been off, and I got sick. Like, it's not even from my normal job and dealing with like children and everything like that, because children are notorious for germs and that sort of thing. Like, why? Who said yeah? Nyx needs to get sick every single time when she wants to like record this like Minecraft series so that no one will ever be able to tell what she really sounds like. And like, it's just so frustrating. But anyway, hi everybody. Welcome back. My name is Nyx Starlight and this is our Minecraft series. I promise I'm working on our little thing. So I'll get you guys updated on the plan for today. So as much as I possibly can anyway. Um, we have that project going on, which is going to become like a really big old greenhouse. Now, I have designs that I've been working on and designs that I've edited from another design from somebody else. So eventually I'll have that like pop up on the screen and be like, all right, this is what we're building, blah, blah, blah. But I need a lot of materials for that. Like a lot. A lot, a lot. So this is part one. I gotta collect a lot of spruce wood and a lot of glass as well. So eventually we're gonna have to head out towards a desert to get some more glass. But I have these guys, which this isn't the ideal setup for them, but for now, this is where they're gonna be, and this is where they're staying. I don't know how much I've talked about this, but these guys are like number 6 and 7, because unfortunately, a lot of the other, sorry, a lot of the other villagers that I was going through this process with died multiple times. Anyway, I'm not happy about it, but it's okay. So these guys are like, for the most part, as best as I can possibly get them, and I plan to have like at least 2 more villagers. I don't want them to stay here. Eventually I want them to move over to the greenhouse, and we'll have like our farmer villager trade people over there instead. I also know, and this is very topical, Minecraft is planning to completely change villager mechanics, and we'll see. Like, I've decided that we will deal with that problem when we get to it. Because as of this moment right now, that is not a priority for me. Because there was a long time where I was putting off this project in its entirety because I was like, well, they're gonna change it anyway, so I might as well wait until they change it. I'm just gonna keep doing my own thing. I'm not gonna wait. But anyway, so this is going to be probably quite a few quick montages of us collecting materials and that sort of thing. And eventually we'll start working on that. So I will see you again when we start working on our little, our greenhouse. Alright? So I will see you very, very soon. And enjoy our little montage. I've noticed something that is bothering me now. So we're gonna fix it, hopefully, maybe, we'll see. If you've been watching my series so far, you might actually know what I'm talking about and might have seen the silly goober mistake that I've made. If not, Congratulations, you are as blind as me. um, yes, okay, so I do still have some granite. Perfect, wonderful. And we will need a bucket as well. Um, so I don't have every single Minecraft farm uh, available yet, but we'll get there eventually. That will be a priority at some point. I need a stone cutter. Where, oh where? Oh, I know where my stone cutter is. Alright, hold on. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. You may have noticed that right there, it seems to be, with the Z fighting, is our problem child over here. Alright, so I've noticed over the last little while that I don't want to admit how long this has been. If you can't tell, I've noticed that it hasn't grown. Like at no like dripstone has like fallen or anything like that to create like the longer. Is it stalactites? Mites are at the bottom. I think it's tights. Watch, I'm probably wrong. But anyway, I've noticed that it hasn't been growing, which is kind of confusing. What blocks did I use over there? Polished. Okay, like, which is, kind of concerning, because it should have grown by now. It should have, like, dropped and everything. So, I have a feeling I did the farm wrong, which is, expected, alright? Like, I make silly goober mistakes all the time. I didn't realize that, and I hope this is what it is, and it's not something else, because otherwise I'm gonna have to watch a little tutorial video from years back, and I'm not gonna be happy about it, not gonna lie. But I'm gonna go around. I think, so these are stairs, and I wanted it like that so that I wouldn't have to put a wall all the way around. But I think because they're stairs, they're waterlogged stairs, they're causing problems. Okay, alright. This is not ideal, everybody. This is just not a pro gamer move of mine. So I'm hoping if I remove these, that now because they are full water blocks, that it'll start growing downwards. We're gonna find out the hard way. I don't think it needs like stone or anything at the bottom, so we're gonna let this run for a bit while I'm still gathering materials, because yeah, I plan to use the dripstone blocks, and the best way to get that, rather than tearing out an entire cave, is just to have these guys running, and eventually, yeah, I'll have like a slime farm going through to collect that sort of thing, but right now, I just need it passively. So I'm hoping that these stalactites will grow. We'll find out though, because if it's not, you're gonna see me come back here really stumped and confused as to why these guys aren't growing. But I promise you, by the end of this episode, you'll know exactly why. And you probably might already know why, and I'm just a silly goober that just totally forgot about Minecraft mechanics. It can't blame me, alright? I've been playing this game for a very long time. At least half my life, so you gotta give me some slack here, alright? I picked up Minecraft Bedrock Edition recently because a few buddies wanted to play together, and it's cross-compatible and that sort of thing, so life was great. But there are so many differences in that game. Like, I can only I refer to it as like a different game because it basically is. Um, I can only play the Bedrock edition of Minecraft for so long. That's, you finally did it. I've been trying to get him to be like wheat and carrot this for an entire Minecraft day. Like, I kid you not, I've been taking up and putting down his thing over and over again. Do I have any more carrots? Oh my god. Alright, anyway. For quite a bit now, so don't worry, I'm not gonna leave it like this. I'll harvest all of this since it's ready. But like I've been trying to get him to like take up that trade for an entire day, and then he wouldn't. But the moment that I'm like, yeah, please, can you do that for me? He's like, yeah, sure, fam, I got you. Goober. Anyway. And for those of you who don't know, like, I'm pretty sure most of my audience, if I can say that. The people who end up finding my videos on YouTube, because I don't really have an audience per se. Um, I think most people know the general Minecraft mechanics of if you trade with a villager, like a brand new one, like that guy, where he only had like 2 trades and everything, you can lock in their trade, right? So rather than worry about what he will be able to, let's not give villagers gender, sorry, what they will be able to trade and everything like that. You can lock in their trade and life's great. Like, you don't have to worry about them changing their mind about like, oh yeah, like I don't sell wheat anymore, I won't take your wheat, I only have beetroot or give bread and that sort of thing. And on my screen, on my other screen, normally I'll have pulled up like the min-max trades. That's how serious of this game I am, of like what are the best villagers per se for the long term. Now I know that Mojang is going to be changing villager trades entirely. So, as much as I know that I want these min-max trades, I know that it's going to be very futile because they're going to be changing everything with the next update. So for now, I'm just kind of taking what I can get, and I'm being a little picky at it at the same time. Because I think I mentioned it when I was first, in my last video, sorry, that I was dealing with the concept of you can only be so picky because like statistically it is more and more improbable the more specific you are about like what you want. And that's like I don't want to get too deep here. That is for everything. You can only be so picky. Like for example, let's say you want a job that pays $100,000 every year minimum, okay? Well, there's only a certain amount of jobs that can do that. Well, I don't want to be on my feet all the time and have to work and blah, blah, blah. So the more picky you are about those numbers and those specific things, like where the location of that job would be, or like who you would be working for, if you're working for yourself or for somebody else, and that sort of thing. Like, there's only a certain amount of pickiness that you can actually have. Now, I want to like bash anyone's dreams there, especially if it's like a job or a relationship or whatever. Like, whatever works for you, Pookie, keep it. But just remember, like, the more things that you have on your list of like, okay, I need XYZ, the more statistically improbable it is to like find somebody like that, you know, or find a job like that, or find anything like that. And I've experienced it a lot recently. I'm trying to save up to buy a car right now from my job and everything, and I've got student loans that I've been paying back. I know, shocker. Most people are not paying their student loans right now, and I'm probably the odd one out actually paying back my student loans and trying to be on top of it. But that's a story for another time. I think it's the person in me where I'm like, I don't want to do anything wrong and blah. Like, but anyway, so long story short, I'm trying to find a car, and the one thing that I absolutely want the car to have is a I want it to be a hybrid vehicle. Now, what type of hybrid? I don't really care. I know I should care, but I really don't. Like, I've researched a little bit on what the difference between like an EV. I might be saying this entirely wrong too. But like from what I understand, there's 4 different types of electric cars and hybrid cars. Sorry, one of them being a fully electric car. The other 3 types are based off of how it saves energy. I'm not a mechanical engineer. I'm not going to even try to pretend I understand what I read. But basically, for me personally, I want a hybrid vehicle because I know it does really well with gas mileage, and I also don't want to be harming the environment as much as I possibly can. Like, there's only so much that I can do, and if this is like helping at least in a little bit, then I'll do it. So I really want a hybrid car. Now, the problem arises when you start looking at hybrid cars. Most hybrid cars, a new one, can be a little bit more expensive. And another problem arises with what type of hybrid car. Now, I've told myself I'm not buying a fully electric car because that's just not practical for me at this current state of my life. Like, I need gas in order to go on like really long road trips. That's part of the reason why I want a vehicle to own for myself. And so I've been looking at hybrid cars and that sort of thing, and I don't live in like a like a major populated area, so I don't have as many car dealerships as I guess most people living in the city would, right? So um but there's quite a few hybrid vehicles out there, and I've been going back and forth and like looking at them and yada yada. But unfortunately, another picky thing, most of the hybrid cars are out of my price range, right? And that's not necessarily a picky thing, it's just out of my price range, and I'm not comfortable spending that kind of money every single month, especially since I'm not making a lot of money. But that's also another statistical problem of like, okay, well, I need it to be in X amount of price range. So the more picky I am about getting a car, is the longer that I wait to get a car. Now, I've realized pretty quickly that if I just did not care, I could buy a car right now. Like, I have just enough money in my account to sustain a full purchase of a vehicle. A used vehicle, keep in mind, this would have to be like a very beat up car, to say the least, a shit box, if you will. But I could do it if I really just wanted a car. But because I'm being picky of what I want in my vehicle, I'm just taking my sweet time trying to find the right vehicle. And I like right now, it's not really that big of a deal. Like, the hardest part, I guess, every day is just not being able to quickly go from place to place, and with it being winter and having to take the bus to and from work, it's not ideal. But I make it work, right? Like, it's a game at this point. But all of that to say is like, if it's worth it to you, that's all that matters. So whether that is villagers in a little Minecraft game and having their specific stats so that I can be mentally happy and sane for a little bit, that works for me. If it's a hybrid vehicle that I'll wait for the rest of my life to finally get, it's worth it to me. It was. It was 100%. Oh my god, I feel so dumb. Can't believe this. Ah! Okay, so it was 100% because they weren't full water blocks. That is so frustrating. But we figured it out, everybody. My goodness. But yeah, so I know I've looked at that multiple times today, and I'm like, oh, we'll start working on it, and blah, 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 and I go away from it. Right now, we are going to work on it. I just want to grab some glass, and yeah, I'm gonna start building. So enjoy. And this is where I realized, oh, I understand now why so many YouTubers, Minecraft YouTubers, are using the replay mod or like camera mods and that sort of thing. Because my goodness, does editing this look awful. But like I said, this whole like series and everything is a journey, right? So I will definitely be looking into getting the replay mod for this world, even though, yes, I know I wanted to keep this as vanilla as possible for cinematic purposes, for storytelling purposes. I think getting the replay mod or some sort of camera mod on this world would be very, very beneficial. But alas, so in order to not make this so motion heavy and make people sick, I'm not gonna play too much of this montage, but just know that a lot of work went into this build and a lot of trial and error happened. But yeah, thank you guys so much for at least seeing part of the montage. Anyway, I'll definitely be looking into downloading the replay mod. I know I've been having issues trying to get it to work. I'll set aside some time to make sure that I'll have that set up for a next build or something at least sometime soon. But for now, I'm sorry about the motion blur and everything like that. Hopefully you don't get too sick. I have made a huge error. This is 4 blocks. It's supposed to be 5 in between, meaning I'd have to move this entire half over by 1 block. No, I'm not opposed to doing that. However, I would prefer to not. So I'm gonna check this side. It's also 4 blocks. So guess what, everybody? We're just gonna keep it at 4 blocks, and I'm not gonna mess with it. It doesn't really change all that much, and life will be great. Yeah. But like, how did you already manage? I literally just released the bees, like, not even 5 seconds ago. How did you manage to get all the way up there? Like, I know that with this giant structure, even though everything's closed off, the bees will travel wherever they want. How did I already know that you were going to do this? What? How did you already get all the way up there? I bet you this bee's never gonna come down either, so I guess, like, just constantly poke your little head out. My god. And it looks like our friend is still there, which is wild to say the least. I'm pretty sure he's stuck there, so we'll have to come up with a name for him for sure. But, everything is done. For the most part. I would say this is like about 87% complete, if I'm gonna be honest. We've got the build done. All of the bees are trapped on the inside, and they've got a bunch of room to, like, float around and do their little bee things, so life's all great there. But why don't we take a look on the inside, shall we? Shall we? I say it's not, like, entirely complete because that torch needs to be removed. I need to do a couple more decoration things related on the inside, and we still have a third part to this video series. It's like a little trilogy that we're doing. But yeah, this is how everything's looking. So, this is an example of something that I need to fix and finish at some point. That's going to be like a little potted tree in the corner. And there's a couple other, like, little decorations that you'll see all around. But we've got the bees, and they're doing their thing. Over here, we've got, like, the back end, and eventually that's going to be our, like, downstairs area to get underneath the farm and to expand the greenhouse, the farms that belong in the greenhouse anyway. We've got some vines growing. I gotta come back with some string to, like, make sure that they don't grow all over the place, especially on, like, the farm part, because I don't want anything to catch. We've got the back of the tree. I'm pretty happy with the custom tree that I built. It's not perfect, but, you know, it does the job. In each corner we have just, like, some flower beds for the bees to quickly grab some pollen if they don't want to grab from over here or on the tree or whatever. And we've got this, like, continued decoration, and we've got, like, a little path around. I didn't want to create, like, an actual path because, again, this is like a greenhouse. Things are moving constantly. Yeah, and then we've got these, like, little platforms up here that I added. So eventually these platforms might have some chests up on them, or, like, other, like, flower pot decorations like this one. I like to think this one's like a mini cypress tree. And then we have the same, I'm gonna have to pop over there, but we have the same on the other side as well. And some more vines and everything. So clearly, I gotta come back with some string and, like, make sure that things don't, like, completely overgrow in the greenhouse. But I saw you. Hello! Oh, look how cute you are! Just a little dancing, huh? Living the high life. But anyway, so this is what our little greenhouse is looking like. Eventually, probably up in the rafters, like up, can I find a specific spot that I want to point out? Like, Up on these bits here, like the little wooden bits that are kind of hanging over, I'm tempted to add some like extra beehives. Not the natural ones, but the ones that you can craft. Just because I want to keep this place populated. I know that I'll never get honey out of those if I place them up there, but it'll at least like keep the place populated and hopefully stop from that guy getting completely stuck up there. In the art field, both historically and currently and contemporary, there is this issue that a lot of artists face with like hierarchy of scale. And what that means at a base level is that how, how do I explain this? Like this dirt hut, it is the player's height, right? Like it's the same height for like a player, and this is like how big it is. When you start building bigger than like what you would normally use in a Minecraft world, you kind of have this problem, and you can start to see it now, where the buildings that you build bigger and larger are going to look out of place next to the world around it. So, for example, we've got this huge, I wouldn't say huge, we've got like this nice cherry blossom biome behind us and in the background and really setting the tone for how I want this area to look. However, our two buildings are like looking bigger and taller than the rest of the trees around it. And now that's like not normally a problem, but if you guys go outside and like look at your neighborhood and everything, most trees tend to be taller than most homes. So like we've got like this slight issue of scale here. I'm definitely planning to take some time to like really practice building custom trees and that sort of thing so that we can like really incorporate the buildings back into their good like a good size. But another way that we can do this is altering the terrain. So I haven't, for example, altered the terrain much. I have not done like much terraforming or anything like that. The only time that you've seen me like terraform, I guess, and you can't even see it from this direction, is like the little farm area that we've got going on over there, like the wheat field and everything. So I haven't really touched the terrain much. The only time I really have, besides the wheat farm, is altering and adjusting this platform to have a bigger edge. But even over there, I didn't really remove much terrain, and we definitely see no real change anyway over here. I've started a little bit in the back of the house, but not much. So, with the next episode, I'm more gonna. Sorry. With the next episode, I'm focused much more on like finishing this greenhouse and like starting the underneath. I don't think it'll be finished entirely within the next trilogy of this planned trilogy series, whatever I want to call it. But this like three-part episode saga, if you will. But I just want to move in some farmer villagers over there, so that's going to be the focus of the main episode next time. However, I think that we'll start messing around with terrain, and if I'm gonna start doing that, we are gonna need some better gear, my friends. We are going to need some way better gear. Right now, currently, if I go back, our tools are pretty alright. I would like efficiency 5 on all of them, but I haven't been lucky in the enchanting department to say the least. And I need like better tools. I don't think I'll shoot for like max tools for the next couple episodes. We'll see, maybe. But definitely need a little bit better armor as well. That's gotta be a priority at some point too. But we have bending on some of our tools anyway, so we're getting there. Like we're pretty okay. But if I'm gonna start like really messing with the terrain and everything, we're definitely gonna need some beacons. Beacons? And we're gonna need a lot of iron, especially to like build the beacons and everything. So, I'm thinking our next real farm is going to be an iron farm, and hopefully I can start getting a little XP farm together too, because XP has been a huge issue moving forward it's going to be a huge issue moving forward anyway. But yeah, so we're doing all right. We're doing okay. We're living the high life, all right? We're doing a-okay, and our builds are coming along very nicely, and I'm happy about it. I'm very happy about it. But alas, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in the next episode, and we'll be moving villagers into the back of the cave, back of the greenhouse over there. And we'll be messing around with the underneath and talking about what types of farms that I do want underneath the greenhouse and what we're planning to do there and that sort of thing, because the mess behind me needs to go. I can't keep looking at it anymore. It needs to go, all right? I don't want all of my little short farms with like the sugarcane and bamboo. Like, I can't keep having those out in the open like that. It's kind of messy and it's not nice. But yeah, that's what we're going to be doing next time. And we'll start talking about future projects and what's coming next. But yeah, thank you guys. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Have a good day. Bye bye.